For hospice coming up this weekend. It's on Saturday out of Faribault Harley-Davidson is one of the terrific events that happen in Faribault. We are so blessed. We'll have the Relay for Life, of course, the Cancer Walk Friday night. Then on Saturday, the Ride for Hospice. We've touched on the fact that there are so many things going on this weekend. It all starts with the 79th Annual Pet Parade tonight. Judging begins at 6:15. Parade starts at 7. They'll march down to Central Park, where they have a terrific concert every year following the parade, and I think the kids get some treats too. So again, Into the Jungle is this year's theme. 79th Annual Pet Parade. Ken, did you grow up here in Faribault?
No, I moved here in 1980.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a transplant.
For some reason, I thought you were a original. Where'd you move from?
From Minneapolis. I covered most of the state, though. I've been to international falls, to the Twin Cities, to Faribault. Faribault is home, so.
We're talking different banks?
Yes. Worked for Bremer Banks for a period of time, and then came here in 1980, and been here ever since.
Also with us today is Carmen Breyer. She's with the Faribault Area Hospice, right?
Yes.
Faribault Area Hospice. Thanks for joining us, Carmen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very, very much. Tell us a bit about yourself, if you would, please.
Well, I was born and raised in Faribault. Grown up here, did the pet parade when I was younger.
Did you really?
I did.
Can you remember what you had for a category?
Not off the top of my head. I know the dog was not always crazy about the things we put on its head to walk, and
You still have dogs?
We do. We have two.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's, all of the memories growing up. It was a great place.
Yep, special memories. The pet parade, 79th annual event. Do you know how long hospice has been in Faribault?
Hospice, this will be the 31st year. Last year we celebrated our 30th anniversary for Faribault Area Hospice.
And the 30th tree lighting is coming up this December.
Yes, Light Up a Life will be the 30th year this year. It'll be the first Monday in December.
We were just chatting before hitting the airwaves about doing something special for the 30th.
Yes, we are looking at doing a special ornament this year, and we're doing trees to honor our logo that we have for our trees, and just kind of throwing around some different ideas on what we can do to make it special.
Of course, since last year, District 1 has become part of Alina.
Yes, part of Alina Health. And we're still a service of District 1, so we're the same as we always have been.
So nothing's really changed?
Nothing's really changed with that.
At Faribault Hospice?
No. And District 1 is the same as how it always has been too, just maybe a little different name.
Yep, different name and some more financial backing.
Yes, it affords us wonderful things that we can bring to the community.
Or the Alina family.
Yes.
Ken, did you have someone near to you in the hospice? Is that
well, my wife is a retired nurse, and she worked in hospice for quite a period of time. And then we got talking back about 8 years ago, looking for something that wasn't being promoted in the community of Faribault. And with her background, we thought about hospice, and that's how it kind of got started. We got First United Bank involved, and went out and visited with Ann Hoffmeister out at Harley-Davidson. And the first couple of years were pretty difficult. Raised little or nothing. A lot of work and a lot of effort, but I really kind of think it's becoming a community event, which is what we were always hoping. And I got a few statistics on it. I understand we have, between sponsors and donors, about 183 participants, in addition to all the volunteers that put time and effort in, including the volunteers for hospice.
And I know you're going to share some other numbers with us in the next segment. So that's kind of a teaser to keep people interested in the show.
I'll hold on some of those numbers.
That's the idea. Ken Betzinger is here. He started the Ride for Hospice, and Carmen Breyer from the Faribault Area Hospice Program is with us. She's going to tell us more about what hospice does here locally. I think most of us know what hospice is all about, but will ever enlighten us about that. I saw you today, Ken Betzinger and Carmen Breyer. Before we visit with them again, I just wanted to note all the things that are going on this weekend. Monday, we had Chad Balf with us. He's the honorary chairperson of this year's Relay for Life. Boy, did he do a super job of relating his story of being diagnosed with cancer. Now he's in remission after working his tail off, all those treatments he had to go through. We had Franz Bolter and the president of BA, Tom Donlin, on Tuesday's AM Minnesota show talking about their birthday bash this weekend. 150 years old. They didn't look 150, Tom and Franz, but the school is 150 years old, and that's this weekend. Opens up tomorrow, runs all the way through Sunday. Yesterday, we had Chamber folks North Johnson and Barb Larson stop by and tell us, well, they kind of highlighted all of the events going on this weekend, including the Blue Collar Ribs and Arts Festival, which is 11 until 11 on Saturday. And now today, we're talking about Ride for Hospice, which Ken Betzinger started 8 years ago, right, Ken?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
8 years ago. Does it seem longer than that to you, or shorter than that?
Seems like a long time ago.
It does.
Yeah.
And you were relating the story about how the first couple of years, I asked Darla earlier today, she was in the studios, how much you raised the first year. You recall what the number was?
Well, I think we ended up with around $2,500, but that was kind of a misnomer a little bit because we picked up some additional donations towards the end. We just offset the cost, so it was a pretty tough start. But progress is being made. Last year, I think, was our best year. We raised somewhere around $56,000, as I recall. And I believe right now we're at somewhere in the mid-30s. We've got raised to this point, so hopefully we'll get a few more tickets sold, and we'll get a few bikers that'll show up. We do compete with Sturgis on this weekend.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Which is somewhat difficult to get the bikers show here. I think last year, if I remember right, we had over 100 bikers. So we need them to come in and spend their money and contribute and participate with us. So.
Well, I did want to emphasize that you don't have to have a Harley. You can have any kind of motorcycle, right?
Right, and we've tried to promote that and to get all different type of bikers to come in. And but Ann at Harley really does a great job for us. She does a blast through the emails to her
Sure.
customer base, and then provides the space for us, which makes it all possible. But you're absolutely right. If we could get the Hondas and the Yamahas, and we've hit some of these clubs in southern Minnesota trying to expand that base. And we've had a little bit of success. I'd like to see more of it.
And of course, cars are included. Have you ever thought about having bicycles?
We have. We talked about that. And maybe that'll be something that will materialize. Try to figure out how we could get the bicycles in there and keep them safe with all the activity that's taking place with the motorcycles.
Yeah, you probably have to have a different route completely.
Yes, we would. So, but we've kicked it around as another alternative.
You guys always pick a nice scenic route.
Yeah, Dennis Ulrich has picked up routes out for us the last couple of times, and he's done a great job on that, and he leads the ride. So we appreciate everything Dennis does for us. So.
HospiceRide.com is the website. The Hospice capitalized, Ride capitalized.com, right?
Yes.
HospiceRide.com. If you want more information about the Hospice Ride, you need to pre-register, do you not, Ken?
You don't have to.
Oh, you don't?
No, you can. We'd like the pre-registration. Obviously, that's to our advantage and generates a few more dollars for hospice. But no, you can show up and register out there on Saturday morning, and we'll get you into the program. So.
And virtually everything raised here goes to hospice.
Yeah, we ran some numbers on it, and based on all volunteer work, nobody draws a salary. The goal is to try to get to 100 cents on the dollar going for hospice, and right now I'd say we're around 90 cents on the dollar. The other 10 usually goes for marketing and buying shirts and that sort of thing that we try to sell.
Right, the posters and all that stuff.
So I think we do pretty well. The goal is to spend it all here in the Faribault area.
Yeah, and Carmen, that's got to be near and dear to your heart.
That is. without the support, we wouldn't be able to do, you know, it really allows us to give more to our patients for our patient care, with the supporting of our massage therapy and our music therapy. And we're looking at adding, this fall, aromatherapy that is gonna be supported also by the Ride and the Hospice Foundation through First United. Also working with Ken and Darla and looking at some different things that we can get into place to help, you know, just enhance that patient experience so they have the best they possibly can while they're with us.
Now, it's reading off the card I think you have in front of you earlier today, that the music therapy and the massage therapy really helps patients.
They do, it does. Our massage therapist also does healing touch. She will help, you know, it helps with the pain. It helps with the swelling that can happen sometimes with the different end-stage diseases, and just the relaxation. And music therapy is just, some of the families that we've talked to that have had that is just, it's been such a, it can be kind of a coming together of family and the relaxation and the bonding time with them. It just is irreplaceable.
Now, I'm going to show my ignorance here, which I do quite often on the show, but why not do it again, right? With the music therapy, it's, I mean, you would think there wouldn't be a lot of cost involved there. You just turn on the radio.
No, our music therapist is Ann Hauk, and she actually goes to wherever the patient is. She has a wonderful singing voice, and she does, she plays guitar. She has a piano, keyboard that she brings with her. Her dog once in a while will come with, and that's good therapy too.
So, again, fleeting ignorance here, the live music is better than recorded music.
Yes, you get that, I guess kind of that one-on-one connection, and we've had families where they've actually had friends over to participate in that, and it's just really, like I said, it's really kind of a coming together and a bonding and a special time to share with them.
The massage therapy, I can see what that would be awesome. And aromatherapy is scented candles.
It's essential oils. We have, we'll be getting essential oils. They also have inhaler type things, and the different scents with the lavender can help with the nausea, anxiety. So the different scents can help with different things that the patients may have going on, the different symptoms with the nausea, the anxiety, the pain, all the way down to, you know, constipation, if that's,
sure.
You know, if that's in there.
Marijuana now, medical marijuana is legal in Minnesota. Are many hospice patients using?
Not with us, no. They have not. We haven't came across that as of yet, and we'll kind of, I know there's a lot of different feelings around that, and a lot of different ins and outs, and so when we come across that, we'll, you know, we go by what our doctors and that kind of stuff, what they feel is best for the patient.
And the reason why these therapies are chosen for the dollars that Hospice Ride raises is because those aren't covered by Medicare.
They are not, yes, and I know, you know, and First United Foundation does a very good job. They make, you know, everything that we raise goes back to patient care. It's not paid to us to do whatever. It all goes back to the patient care through the massage therapy, through the music therapy, our bereavement program that helps the families after the loved one has passed. It's not.
And that's not covered by Medicare either.
No.
I find that very interesting.
I think it's Medicare and insurance.
Yes.
That's
all
No,
insurance,
no.
yeah.
So that is the area that we've tried to cover, is to provide services beyond what they can get from Medicare and from their insurance company. And they do a great job, the hospice people.
Yeah, they do.
Going back to the music therapy that you raised the question on, I was just thinking while Carmen was explaining it, a story I heard from one of the volunteers a couple of years ago where they had a gentleman that was in a wheelchair. And the music they were playing was the music from his era. And they said he kind of just lit up like a Christmas tree as they wheeled him around in the wheelchair. And then the next day, first thing that he responded to was, he said, "Let's dance." So it's just great to know that you're able to provide some additional care for people. when they need it, and something above and beyond, I guess, which is really wonderful.
So your wife must have been rewarded quite a bit from being involved in hospice. I get that impression anyway.
I think the hospice people are extraordinary people, and they're very special people to be able to deal in those type of situations. It takes a very special person, in my opinion, and they should be commended, and we should be grateful we have them.
Oh, that's for sure. Not every place has hospice, right, Carmen?
No, not every place is fortunate to have the hospice, available like we do. Some of the more rural don't have that always available. We do go to a 30-mile radius to reach out to the patients that need us, and just to touch too, we are not-for-profit, so we do take care of patients if they don't have insurance and don't have Medicare. That's not, it doesn't, for us, it's not the ability to pay, it's our ability to help if we're needed.
Right.
So
that's why it's called Faribault Area Hospice. I know you've had a lot of Kenyon patients and Lonsdale and Montgomery and throughout the area.
Waterville.
That's super too. Fantastic. Well, Ken, should we reveal some of the numbers? The amount that you've raised ever since you started is incredible.
Well, I don't have the total number, but in the last 7 years we've raised about $205,000. And the last 3.5 years we've provided 917 massages and 561 music therapies, according to the statistics I got from Dallas. So
sure.
Numbers probably greater than that if you take the whole 7 years plus involved. And again, the thing is that from my perspective anyway, it's Faribault Area Hospice. It's a nonprofit, and the goal is to provide additional services to the patient. And I really try to emphasize that, because sometimes we compete with for-profit organizations, and the goal here is, in my opinion, is totally different. It's 100% for the benefit of the patient. So I encourage anybody and everybody that's in our area to go to Faribault Area Hospice.
Yeah, and they head out to Saturday's event at the Faribault Harley-Davidson. I mentioned on our website, Ken, I do not have a motorcycle. I don't ride a motorcycle. I still go have breakfast, and I bid on stuff on the side of an auction. There are lots of things you could do. Enjoy the music.
Yeah, we'd like to get the Car Fest people out, the blue collar people out, the BA people to come out and participate with us. So it is a big weekend in town. You got the Relay for Life, like you mentioned also. So a lot of activity, and we can all benefit each other.
If all those people that are attending the BA reunion, for example, they're expecting thousands upon thousands of people in town, were to get all of these events and put an infusion of capital into the Relay and an infusion of capital into your Hospice Ride, wouldn't that be awesome?
It'd be awesome, no question.
Those people have big hearts.
Sure.
Well, and everybody needs breakfast before they go off on the big day, so come on out and have some.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, and the breakfast is good for $5. It's
yes.
Incredible. I'd pay more than that.
Well, we'll see if we can get a little more audio when you come out.
Well, you usually do. You usually do.
Well, also, there's, like Ken had said too, the Ride T-shirts will be available out there, and they're just they're nice. The material is such a nice light material, and the orange, and it'll be a fun day.
I think I have probably a half dozen black Hospice Ride hats.
Well, we do the hats. The big thing that we're trying to really create also is the awareness of hospice. And Carmen and I were talking about that prior to coming on the show here. Excuse me, and trying to get where people really understand what hospice is and what they do, and the wonderful services that they provide, not only for the patient but for the families also. And so we need to work a little bit harder, I think, on creating that awareness issue and figure out what that solution is. We've tried through the hats and the shirts and like you're being here today, and
sure.
Marketing. but we need to expand that in such a way, I believe, and, to get more people involved, and to get people involved at the right time for hospice to come in and help them, rather than waiting towards the final moments. And so hopefully we can do a better job on it.
Sure. The hospice originally started as a
completely volunteer. Yep, it was all, when it first started 30 years ago, it was all on a volunteer basis. I believe that was before any kind of Medicare support or anything like that.
Sure.
And we want to be available, like Ken said, to the people that need us at the right time that they need us. It's for the patients that have that life-limiting illness and are wanting to look more at the quality of life instead of the days left. And we can do so much sooner, you know, earlier in that process with the music therapy, the massage therapy, the education for the patient and the families on some of the different symptom management and that type of thing, to make what they have left the best it can be.
Are you still in the house across from the hospital?
We are.
But there's not a room in there for hospice patients?
No, that's just our offices, but we go to wherever the patient is, so whether they're in a skilled nursing facility, an assisted living, their home, one of the 2 hospice houses that are in our area, we service both of those, so wherever the patient is where we go to.
And I would assume that there are cases where the patient is in a hospice or someplace else and wants to die at home.
Yes.
And you're able to assist in that
Yes,
too.
we do. We can, you know, depending if it, you know, if the level of care is available for them to be able to get back into their own home, and that's their wish. We want to honor their goals as much as we can, as you know, and keeping the patient safe.
And I always say, I don't know how you could be against hospice.
I would agree. Carmen, I agree with Carmen. I think of my own experience with my brother. I had a brother that was in the process of dying, and I had a very difficult time trying to visit with him regarding that. I sat in on various sessions with his doctor, and they talked about his prognosis, and I finally found that I couldn't really deal with that myself when I got hospice involved, and hospice dealt with my brother, and then he finally joined in on the program. So I guess my point is that it's, at least for me, it was a very difficult situation, but hospice was there to step in and ask for help, and they did it, and I thank them for what they did for my brother, and dealt with a very difficult situation. So sometimes it's hard, as an individual, you're so close to the problem.
Well, sure, yeah.
At least in my experience, that trying to deal with those type of situations. So.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That story I've heard is my cousin, my aunt, was in hospice, and the day she passed, the family was in the room, and she turned to my cousin and had an angelic smile on her face, he said, and said, "Dad's here," just before she passed, and she died with that smile on her face, and boy, that was just an awesome story.
There's my background, I've been with hospice for the last 3.5 years now, and my background's in long-term care, and it, you know, there is something there that, you know, we all go towards and resolve, and part of what we want to do is, like Ken said, is help with that education and help with the transition with the families going through, the patients going through, losing, you know, and facing things that
The unknown.
The unknown, and helping them work through that, and the education, and just kind of helping that transition to make the most of what we can, so the family's got the time together that is really, you know, it's very special for them, and it's a time, you know, you don't get back.
Boy, that's for sure. So was your brother from around here, Ken?
No, he was a veteran, and he was actually in the VA hospital in Chicago. Came down with cancer. They think it had something to do with Agent Orange. And ended up bringing him up here, took care of him, had him in a nursing home over in Kenya, and the only place I could get him at the time was there.
That's another issue we need to resolve.
Yeah. But very thankful again for what hospice did. some benefit that they gave him in the last few days of his life, so.
And now,
really appreciative.
yep, now it's good to see that they're expanding on these various therapies too that help ease some of the anxiety that you have to feel when you know that your time is limited.
Yeah, like I said, with the massage and the music therapy and looking to add the aromatherapy to just, help some of those symptoms that come up, and sometimes they're kind of a head scratcher as, well, what do we do? This isn't working, that's not working, and these work. So,
You've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen and heard from families just the different things on how the music, like Kim was saying, the music therapy, bringing that person out and really lighting them up and singing the songs that maybe they hadn't talked in the last couple of weeks, and the songs that Ann goes with them and sings, and they try to sing with her, and just, the importance of that for the family that are there to witness that, and that it's just really, it's something to see.
Yeah, there's something about music. It just speaks to our soul. Well, Ken, thanks for all you do and for starting this.
Thank you.
It's greatly appreciated. I'm a big believer, like I said, I don't know how anybody can not be a believer in hospice. I'm going to be against the mission of helping people end their life. When their end of life is coming, helping them get through that. I don't know how you can be against that.
No, I think it's the fact that you can provide some pleasure of some sort, I guess, is something that should be done. I'm glad that we can be a participant in doing that.
And it doesn't take zillions of dollars, folks. Just breakfast is $5. Come on out. A shirt is how much?
$20.
$20.
Raffle tickets are $10.
For $100, you can have a pretty neat morning.
You can have a very neat morning and help contribute to a good cause. So.
All right. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota, KDHL AM.